The Met Office is warning of rough seas around the country's coastlines for the next 3 to 4 days. Citizens are urged to exercise caution if conducting sea-related activities. A statement from the Met Office says buoy data as well as reports reaching the Trinidad and Tobago Meteorological Service indicate that sea conditions being experienced are currently moderate to rough, with wave heights reaching 2.5 to 3.0 meters in open waters and up to 1.0 meter in sheltered areas. These above normal marine conditions are attributed to relatively strong winds in the lower levels of the atmosphere, which are currently agitating the surface of the Atlantic Ocean and Caribbean Sea. Numerical weather prediction models forecast the low-level winds to strengthen further over the next 24 hours and to persist for at least the next 48 hours, and as such, sea conditions in open waters are expected to become more agitated. There was an accident in the vicinity of the Socorro walkover this morning. It caused extra traffic into and out of Port of Spain. The accident involved 4 vehicles and was on both east and westbound lanes of the highway. Fire and police officers went to the scene and there were no major injuries reported. Well, if you know about South Mass, then you know about Kalicharan Mass. The band won its 10th consecutive Band of the Year title in 2016, and by the looks of their 2017 offering Zante, they came out with their eyes on the prize once more. Among the masqueraders was Wendy Kalicharan, wife of Ivan Kalicharan, who said playing Mass with the family's band every year is a joy.
Honey, I love to play Mass. I love to play Mass well clothed.
Asked how the economic situation affected this year's operations, she said they've been fortunate.
Because we do our work ourselves, so we don't have that overhead labor cost.
More people are registering to play with you all. Has it decreased from previous years? Or?
No, it didn't decrease. It's more or less the same.
Now, Kalicharan's parade before the judges had a small hiccup, as there was a small incident which left one elderly woman with injuries to the head. C News understands there was a small altercation as the band was prepping to cross the stage and the woman was caught in the melee. First aid and police came to the woman's aid almost immediately and she was taken away as the festivities swiftly resumed. Ash Wednesday marks the start of Lent in the Christian calendar. Though it is celebrated every year, many often ask what is Lent, what's the significance of it, and when is it celebrated. Cameraman Shaka Telesford visited the Cathedral of Immaculate Conception for the 6:30 Mass this morning, and Dion Batiste has more in this report.
Ash Wednesday marks the first day of Lent, a 40-day period which precedes Easter on the Christian calendar. In observation of Lent, Christians use the time as a period of prayer, reflection, and penance. It's a time where the sacrifice of Jesus, who according to the Bible withdrew to the wilderness where he fasted 40 days before his crucifixion. Ash Wednesday signifies the end of the carnival season and heralds the start of Lent, a period of repentance, moderation, and spiritual discipline. From as early as 6 o'clock this morning, persons made their way to the Cathedral of Immaculate Conception for prayers and communion. The priest interceded on behalf of all citizens, praying for their forgiveness.
Celebrating his death and resurrection, we offer you, Lord, the bread of life and the chalice of salvation, giving thanks that you have made us worthy to be in your presence as ministered to you. Lord, we pray that, partaking of the body and blood of Christ, we may be gathered into one by the Holy Spirit.
It is customary for some people to fast for the entire Lenten period, while others fast from meat only on Ash Wednesday, Good Friday, and all Fridays of Lent. Many others choose to give up a vice, a favorite food, alcohol, and even smoking for the entire 40-day period. Dion Batiste, C News.
Archbishop Joseph Harris spoke on Good Morning Trinidad and Tobago and told us the importance of putting the ashes on one's forehead.
The ashes is not simply because we behave badly on Carnival Monday and Tuesday. We go for ashes so that God will pardon us. Ashes is a commitment to repentance and to penance for the nation and for oneself.
Archbishop Harris also said a person who played mass and carried about themselves in an indecent manner would not be blessed or have their sins washed away if he or she just simply goes to church. More is required to receive grace, including repentance and asking for forgiveness.
Simply because you put on ashes. If you have sinned, if you have behaved badly, sin is only forgiven when we make a commitment to try our best not to commit that sin anymore.
And in Tobago, scores of people also went to church on Ash Wednesday.
Are we going to be open to the invitation of repentance? Are we going to be open to the words, if my people will humble themselves, turn from their wicked ways, he will hear from heaven and heal our lands.
While many people were enjoying carnival celebrations on Tuesday, one group was sharing blessings. Members of the Apostles' Ministries in Londonville were in Chaguanas sharing what they said is the love of God. It is their way of giving back to the country.
Well, I think it's very important because when we come, we believe we carry the presence of God, which will dispel anything that the devil wants to try to do. Whether he wants to bring crime, whatever, hurt and harm to people, we believe that all that can change because we are here, because we believe we bring in heaven to earth.
40 hours of prayer and 40 days of action starts on Friday, and it's one group's hope that this initiative will stop violence in the country. Mikhail Trastrail of the Movement for Non-Violence told it's a coincidence the event falls in line with the Lent period, but noted it's a multi-religious event.
To the 40 days would be education. We're going to be doing education through TV and radio as well, every day and every week, having television programs, going to schools and businesses, and we have a forum for teachers on one of the days to really educate people that violence is deep in us, and to be a non-violent society, we have to look at ourselves and allow that to hit us home deep within us and us make a commitment to live a non-violent life.
It was said that violence can not only be attributed to gangs and its members, as it's a part of each and every member of society.
And, we have to see that. We are violent at home, the violence in our families, the violence in our schools. People say, go to the schools, it's so violent. Yeah, but go to the families, that's where it begins, So it's really the education that we want to do in these 40 days, and the real message is to get people aware that, yes, I'm violent. This is what I can do in the face of violence in the community, in the country, become a non-violent person.
And we've reached to that point where I turn you over to Nasira Mohammed for sport. Nasira, I hear there's some big numbers in this year's CPL.
258 to be exact, Mahalia. That's the number that's been announced of players who will enter the draft that will take place next week in Barbados. A record number of local and international stars have been officially registered for the Hero Caribbean Premier League player draft, which takes place on Friday 10th March in Barbados. And that was the end of the sport for today.
Back to some local news now. Carnival celebrations in Chaguanas were described as an incident-free, and according to the organizers, this was due to high police presence during Carnival celebrations. This is probably why hundreds of people braved blazing sun and at times the rain to enjoy the final day of Carnival. Rishi Harinanan was there on Tuesday, and here's some of what took place.
It was a late start for Carnival celebrations in Chaguanas on Tuesday, with the first band crossing the stage after 3 p.m. Despite this, the hundreds of people who began to gather from noon stayed behind to get a taste of what the borough had to offer. And they weren't disappointed. They were entertained by the young, the more experienced, and the indifferent. The celebration this year wasn't as spectacular as previous years due to a cut in their budgetary allocation. But in light of this major hindrance, there were some positives.
We had to do some cutbacks with stage and thing, but somehow, sometime a little disappointment did be sometimes turn out to be positive, because a lot of the Juve bands, somehow they're rather the road than the stage.
In the midst of the revelry, there was a blessings booth for those like me who wanted to get blessed.
The blessing booth is where we come into the community, into the carnival, and just share the love of God to all those who would come, who give us the opportunity. We pray for people, we bless them, whatever they have need of, we are here to help meet the need. We give out water just to be a blessing, because we know people are thirsty.
To top things off for Central Carnival was the fact that there were no major incidents of violence.
So it's no nonsense against crime, no nonsense against traffic and the minimization of traffic, no nonsense against illegal street vending, no nonsense against social ills in the borough. And that no nonsense team will continue as we continue to develop Chaguanas. So that the job was well attended. There were a lot of people. Some people estimated over 20,000 persons on this Ramshan Street. And this says something for the community. And it was incident-free. From the information we had with the police, it was incident-free.
Part of the focus for Carnival in Chaguanas was bringing back traditional mass. 2017 was a successful year according to those in charge. And for 2018, you can expect more. Rishi Harinanan, C News.
And that's the C News report at noon. I'm Mahalia Joseph.
And I'm Nasira Mohammed.
Remember, for up-to-date and breaking news throughout the day, visit the C News website at ctvtt.com. We leave you with some of the sights and sounds of Carnival celebrations in Chaguanas. Have a good afternoon.